Death Valley of USA. From Nature Diaries. Death Valley or Furnace Creek was originally designated a national monument in 1933 and made a national park in 1994. Located in both California and Nevada of USA, it's the largest national park in 48 states and has nearly 2,000 miles of roads. As the hottest, driest, and lowest national park, Death Valley is a land of extremes, thus victimized many people who dared to pass through it. More than just a scorching desert, Death Valley offers park visitors a striking contrast of landscapes to explore, from the snow that frosts the park's towering peaks to the lush wildflower meadows and small oases that provide a reprieve from the heat to seemingly endless desert plains. Death Valley is the lowest point in North America. At 282 feet below sea level, Badwater Basin is a surreal landscape that tricks the senses. What many visitors mistake for snow covering the ground is actually a thick layer of salt on the valley floor. But how did the salt get there? Rain and minerals dissolved from rocks drained to lower elevations. Here, at Badwater Basin, the water forms temporary lakes after heavy storms. As the water evaporates, minerals concentrate until only the salts remain. After thousands of years, enough salts have settled here at the bottom to create this vast, surreal scene. You can't beat the heat at Death Valley. In July 2018, the hottest place on Earth, the Death Valley, experienced its hottest month on record. The floor of Death Valley is noted for its extremes of temperature and aridity. A record world and North American high shaded air temperature of 57 degrees Celsius was recorded in 1913, and summer temperatures often exceed 49 degrees Celsius. Ground temperature as high as 94 degrees Celsius have been reported in past. The high temperatures and low humidity contribute to an exceptionally high evaporation rate. This kind of heat can be dangerous, but that doesn't mean you can't explore the valley in the summer. Winter minimum temperatures rarely fall to the freezing point. The record lowest temperature ever was -9 degrees Celsius. In a 50-year period in the 20th century, the average annual rainfall at Furnace Creek was only 1.66 inches, the maximum annual rainfall was 4.5 inches, and 2 years passed with no measurable rainfall. Many people have died due to extreme heat and wilderness of region in Death Valley. Contrary to its name, Death Valley comes alive with color and life in the spring. While the park is famous for its rare and spectacular wildflower displays, flowers are never totally absent in the off years. When conditions are right, the hills and valleys explode into a carpet of gold, red, purple, pink or white flowers. Deep soaking rain is essential for a desert floral display. To begin, a rainstorm of a half-inch or more is needed to wash the protective coating off wildflower seeds and allow them to sprout. Some of the rocks move on their own at Death Valley. Racetrack Playa is home to one of Death Valley's most enduring mysteries. Scattered across the bottom of this dry lake bed are hundreds of rocks that leave trails on the ground when they move. Some of the rocks, which weigh up to 700+ pounds, have traveled over 1,500 feet. For years, the source of their movement had gone unsolved, but in 2014 researchers discovered a rare combination of events that move the rocks. When the playa floods and cold winter nights freeze the water into a thin layer of ice that then break into large floating panels as night turns into day, winds drive the rocks forward across the slippery surface, which leave trails in the soft mud below. When dried up, it looks as if stones have walked. Although scientists have discovered the secret of the moving rocks, the fascination remains the same. If you listen closely, the sands will sing to you. Although sand dunes are only a small portion of Death Valley, the shadowed ripples and stark, graceful curves are some of the most memorable sights in the park. At the top of the sand dunes, you can experience one of the strangest phenomena of the desert, singing sand. When the sand slides down the steep faces of high dunes, a sound like the bass note of a pipe organ or the distant drone of an airplane can be heard. The reason for this occurrence is argued, but it's most likely caused by the friction between sand grains. Devil's Golf Course isn't meant for golfing. Devil's Golf Course, which got its name because only the devil could play golf on its surface, is a colorful landscape worn by wind and rain into beautiful jagged spires. If you listen carefully, you can hear the tiny pops of billions of tiny salt crystals expanding and contracting in the heat. The sculpted salt formations form a rugged terrain that is simultaneously delicate yet dramatic. You can see a galaxy far, far away in the park. Jump in your car and wind through Artist's Drive, an unbelievable area of multicolored, eroded hills. Oxidation of natural metal deposits in the mountains produce gorgeous shades of green, blue, and purple that resemble an artist's colorful palette. When you look at the sky, you can see an exclusive universe view that looks like the best job by nature god. To observe sky from Death Valley is an experience of lifetime, and very few places do exhibit such scenes. A volcanic explosion left its mark in Death Valley. The awe-inspiring Yubpi crater is over 600 feet deep and half a mile wide. The massive crater was formed about 2,100 years ago, but the most recent explosion might have happened as recently as 300 years ago. The crater's sheer size dwarfs visitors and provokes a feeling of wonder for nature's power. Local Native American tribes refer to the crater as Coyote's Basket. The entire crater can be viewed from a parking lot on its rim, but further exploration on trails reveal additional smaller craters and the fascinating effects of erosion. Really, there are fish in Death Valley. Finding fish in the desert doesn't sound possible, but surprisingly there are 6 species of fish that can survive in the salty waters and harsh conditions of Death Valley. One of them is the endangered Devil's Hole pupfish. It only resides in the 34°C waters of Devil's Hole, where water temperatures and oxygen concentrations are lethal to most other fishes. These inch-long iridescent blue pupfish are one of the world's rarest fish, and scientists are working hard to save these fish. Death Valley is the hottest place on the planet, the driest place in North America, and in the northwestern region of California's Death Valley National Park, home to the eerie and at times haunted-seeming playa-dried lakebed known as the Racetrack. Death Valley is full of life, from vibrant wildflowers and unique species to a cultured past and scenic landscape. You may need more than one visit to truly experience the place. Death Valley is a vast national park with over 3 million acres of designated wilderness and hundreds of miles of backcountry roads. The park contains an amazing variety of terrain, historic sites, plants, and animals for outdoor adventurers to discover on foot, by bike or in your car. Death Valley has some of the darkest night skies in the country and is a great place to gaze in awe at the expanse of the Milky Way, see the details of the moon, track a meteor shower or simply reflect on your place in the universe. However you enjoy your time in the valley, please remember to leave no traces in the valley, so everyone can enjoy Death Valley for generations to come. Thank you and see you in the next video.